Guess what I just got? Yep, as you already know, my worm cafe, which is for my worm farm. I just received my worms and I can't wait to install this. This was part of my January goals to purchase because I know it takes a while to get some castings. If you haven't checked it out yet, go check that video. I'll link it here. It talks about everything you need to do to get prepared in January. Now, I'm gonna be moving. The reason why you want to consider having a farm is really for the poop. By recycling your own waste, you have the richest fertilizer that you can possibly have, and you help the environment. Recycling your organic waste also creates the richest worm tea for a liquid fertilizer. So 2 for 1. I purchased this one from Amazon. They are an Australian-based company. If you're local, check out the website. If not, I will link the Amazon page below. I also bought the red wigglers from Amazon, which I'll link below as well. This is the worm cafe. It is quite large. The reason why I picked this one is because I always have a lot of scraps and I have a large garden, so I need a lot of product. This worm cafe is created of 100% recycled material. This lid is fly proof. You can use it indoors or outdoors. It's not messy. Got the ventilated top here, and if you lift it, it even has a section here to hold the lid in place. Can recycle this piece. I purchased this separately. This is the Tumbleweed blanket, also on Amazon, and the reason why I bought it is because you want to insulate the worms. It keeps it from getting too hot or too cold, and then it encourages the worms to head up to the surface. Now this did come with the product. It's the bedding block. This is basically coconut coir, and you get it wet and it becomes the first bed for your red wigglers. This is 1 food tray. This one actually comes with 3. By the time my red wigglers multiply, I will be able to utilize all of the trays. You start off with 1 tray, and then at the bottom is the collector tray. Now this right here is a mound for the worms to come up and reach the tray, and it has a drainage here with a tap so that you can collect your tea. And the assembly, all it is, you attach the tap and you insert the legs. I was gonna leave it to show you, but I was so excited when I got it that yeah, I just couldn't help myself. Here are the things you're gonna need. I have my red wigglers that just arrived. You need a container for the coconut coir. You're gonna need some dry goods, which in this case I have shredded paper. And then actually these 2 you don't need yet. It says that you can wait a day or 2 so they get settled into the coconut coir bed, but I'm very anxious and impatient and I have a lot of food scraps, so I went ahead and I blended what I had. This is the ideal way to feed your worms. If you chop up your scraps in small pieces, it's the second idealist way, or if you just add in your food scraps, it works as well. But this, they'll eat much quicker. That looks gross, right? It's just bananas with the peels, it's avocado, coffee grounds, and I believe that's it. You're also gonna need the water hose and some gloves. The reason why I really like Australian companies is because they think of everything to recycle. So all of this is recyclable material. So you can add it to your worm farm. I hope my container is large enough. While we wait on that, let's talk about the red wigglers. We need about 1,000 to start off, and it's pretty neat that after a while they can multiply and I can have over 20,000 worms inside the cafe, and they control their population. So if there's not room for more, there won't be any more. How cool is that? So I'm starting off with, it's about 12 ounces. I would say 12 ounces to a pound. They can consume 1 pound of food a day, which if you're looking at this size cafe, you can get about 8 pounds of castings in a week. This is exactly what we're looking for. Not too dry, not too wet, This is perfect bedding for them. Now we're going to reuse the packaging to lay a barrier before we add the bedding material. We're getting closer. Oh, it's pretty heavy. I need both hands. Just want to make sure I don't add too much water because I think there's some water on the bottom. Turns out okay. I did good. Now we're just going to spread it. Now for the exciting part. I'm actually nervous. I'm really nervous. Doesn't weigh much, so it's true to the weight. I just saw it move. Getting my gloves. Okay. Oh, I see them. Oh my god. Oh my goodness. I see them. Okay, wait. Let's empty it out. I had to flip the bag inside out so we can get the ones in the corner. I don't want to leave anyone behind. Okay, so now let's just spread them out a little bit so they can find their way, and they will eat the fiber. Now they don't like the sunlight, so we're gonna add the other tray. That was not bad. I was proud of myself. Now it's time to lay the tray in, and I'm probably gonna put a little bit of food, and then we have to put the blanket on. Look how quick they're trying to escape. All these holes are for them to travel in and out of the trays. I'm gonna go ahead and just add the food. And we're gonna mix in the paper. That looks so gross. It's a 50-50 ratio. Let's add quite a few, because this is really wet. And then let's mix it up. Actually looks pretty good. It's pretty moist. It's not too wet, not too dry. So I think I just kind of eyeballed it well. The last thing is you're gonna need some soil, about a handful maybe. Sprinkle it over to help them digest. Now I'm gonna flatten it and cover all of the holes. And then the last piece is to add the bedding. This is going to encourage them to come up and keep them insulated, all that good stuff. So for now, because we're still in winter, I'm going to put them in this place so they can get some sun. But once it gets a little bit too hot, probably over 75 degrees Fahrenheit, I'm going to move it to this area where it's really cool and shady. Some of the food scraps that you can add are vegetable peelings, fruit scraps. They love fruit. Onions and citrus you have to be careful with just a little bit, or else it becomes too acidic. Paper scraps, newspaper, cardboard, tea bags, ground coffee, leafy greens, and eggshells. There's a lot of variety there. And you want to chop it as fine as you can. If you chop it up really small or you blend it like I did, they'll eat through it really fast. Do you know that they can multiply within 90 days, like to double their size? When you first get the wigglers, they're really slim because they haven't eaten in a few days. Once you receive them and you feed them, they will double their size. Now for troubleshooting. If it's smelly, it's not supposed to smell. It's just like compost. You need to aerate it, turn it once a week, make sure that the food scraps are getting that circulation. You can also add a conditioner, or if you can find untreated wood ashes, you can use that. You're going to need to add water, just like compost, about 3 to 5 liters a week. Make sure that the bedding is moist. You don't want it to ever dry out. You also want to leave the tap open, add a bucket underneath so it catches all the worm tea. And don't forget to add the blanket. The blanket is ideal. Purchase it. I will link it below. You can also add some cardboard. Just make sure you wet it down, some newspaper, create your own blanket so they're always dark and moist. For now, I'm going to use this one, but just make sure, see how the water just came out? Make sure that stays open, and then this will fill in. And that's it. I'm so excited to get this going. I'm glad you stuck around. That means you're interested in giving your garden the best food. If you get this, or if you have any questions, message me below. I would love to hear from you. And thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Got my worm cafe.